everybody, it's Stephen and Walter here for another episode of So Chatty, and today we're going to do something that was requested by some of our subscribers, actually many of our subscribers, and it's part of, as you know, we're trying to do some different things on the channel based on what subscribers have told us they would like to see and that kind of thing. Can't do them all, but there were a lot of really good ideas, and one of the ideas is people said they would be really interested in seeing Walter run Lucey. So that's why today is called Walter Plays with Lucey. Yeah, almost sounds filthy, doesn't it? But it's not. So we're going to get to that in a moment, but just first of all, our usual kind of things, a little teaser for what I will be showing next week on my Idiot Quilter channel. I will be taking you through the process of how to take one of these cheap felt portfolios that come from Dollarama, which is the dollar store that's most populous here in Canada. You don't have Dollaramas in the States, sorry people, but you might be able to get something like this there, and how to dress it up. So I have a whole process video that I will be putting up next week on the Idiot Quilter, so be sure to tune in to see how you can make something like this into a fabulous gift.
Now, did you have to take it apart?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But this is simpler to take apart and put back together than the felt bags.
Okay.
If you remember at Christmas time, I made 12 felt bags. It's the same felt that's in these. This came from Dollarama, but those were a little bit more involved because you had more seams. This, you only have like 2 seams on either side. They come right out. You put it on in your embroidery machine, and then you sew it back up in seconds after you've done it. The longest part of this is doing the embroidery, but that depends on the pattern you've picked. And my video is going to go through all of that. And just so you think, oh, look, what's happening on the one that's the lighter color opposed to the darker color. The lighter color was my first effort at it. I made some boo-boos in my planning with that. So the second one, on the darker one, I learned from my boo-boos. But that will be all on that video next week. And Walter has nothing to show us.
Well, I haven't gotten very far on my shirt. I'm not very good at sewing. I did put a black edge on my sleeve, but
he's not talking about this shirt.
No.
Well, we look forward to seeing that in whatever century you get it done.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I haven't been too productive. Not like Steve says, he's just go.
Somebody has to do it. So, anyways, before we move into the Lucey room and go with all of that, announcements. Sewing with Stephen, that would be me, on Wednesdays as usual. Link in the show notes. Pop-up Sew Day coming up, not this weekend, next weekend, which will be Saturday, February the 21st. Pop-up Sew Day. Link will be in the show notes next week for everything that I put up there. And yeah. So, and most of you have been to pop-up sew days before and know about them. But if you've never been to a pop-up sew day, this is your chance to come to one. Okay, and yes, as I already mentioned, we are working on, and when I say we, I mean me, working on changes to the channel. Not major changes, but just a little bit of revamping. And if you saw my vlog this week, which is no longer called a vlog, I changed the name. It's called Monday Morning Coffee with Stephen. I have done some changes there, and I'm not done with the changes. I'm going to do a few more as time goes by. I'm kind of working out things that you have suggested to see how they'll work. And if you have more suggestions, by all means, put them in the comments to any of my videos below, or send them directly to me by email. And I will be happy to consider them. I do keep a list of them, and I consider all suggestions serious. I don't poo-poo any of them. I may not act on all them all because of there's logistics things and stuff that just doesn't work. So yeah, you can forget about suggesting a sew along. Okay, I've had that. Many people have suggested it, and it's a time thing and everything. But that doesn't mean I can't do something that's like a sew along, and I'm working on that already. So, all right. So that's everything there. We are going to move into the Lucey room. And hopefully the technology, I spent this morning trying to get things to work out pretty well for this. We're going to go in and I'm going to teach Walter. Well, Walter's going to be doing most of it on his own. So there could be yelling and screaming and swear words. Mostly him at me about all of this, maybe. To show you how to load a long arm in preparation for quilting a quilt. So we're going to move into the other room and we'll be right back. Okay, so we have moved into the Lucey room. I hope my head's in there. Yeah, there it is. We have moved into the Lucey room, and there's Lucey all set up. And I have got my quilt, and what we're going to be mounting is the quilt that I made. That is my orphan block quilt that you've already seen. I've already picked the backing fabric from this, and we have to get the batting as well. And the hardest part about doing this is basically manipulating all the fabrics. This is not a huge room in here. Lucey takes up most of it, as you can see. It's also our workshop. It's also got some of the grow lights in it, and there's 3D printers in here. This room is filled with all kinds of stuff, so we will be stumbling around. But the first thing we need to do is turn on Lucey. Oh, Lucey, you're so sexy. That's not the kind of turn on we're talking about. So, Walter, you've got to learn how to turn on Lucey. So, do you know how to turn on Lucey? There are 2 switches you need to turn on. No, you're going to the back end of Lucey. She likes it from the back. Lucey's a dirty girl. And you see the 2. Now, you guys won't see this on camera, but that's okay. See? So, you have to hit this switch up here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I know we're out of the shot. And then you have to turn on this switch right there.
Okay, so do I have... Oh, okay.
Push it down.
Okay, all right.
He's already screwing up. Get out of here. Okay, Lucey has been turned on. Now, what we were doing over there was we were turning on the top part, the needle, and then there's a box that runs the automatic, the motor that runs Lucey up and down when we turn on the quilt path. We are not going to be working with quilt path today. That would be too much with it. We will come back to that another day and show you how we get it all, the pattern that we want picked in the quilt path. So right now, I'm just going to move this out of our way down as far as I can at the end. Now, what we have to do first is mount the backing fabric. But before we do that, you should know how much backing fabric you need, because this is about 3 meters of backing fabric, but this quilt does not need 3 meters of backing. Now, you want more backing than quilt top, because you have to have some at the top, the bottom, and on the sides. And I usually do anywhere between, and it's probably a very generous amount, out of the shot, I usually do about 6 to 8 inches of extra backing fabric on the left side, the right side, the top, and the bottom. So the first thing I do is I measure my quilt. And I know this quilt, I've already measured it. It's a square. It's about 58 inches by 58 inches. So we need roughly 65 inches total of backing fabric all the way around. Now this is wide back. So it's 108 inch, maybe 120. I'm not sure. I've had this one for a long time. So we need to open it up. Now, some people, and I'm not some people, will iron. Let's go out of the picture here. Let me move this over a little bit. That's a little better, I think. Okay. Some people will iron their backing fabric beforehand. Probably not a bad idea. If it's really, really terribly wrinkled, then yes, I would recommend you iron it. But what happens is we're basically going to be pulling this fairly taut when we mount it onto the rack, so any little wrinkles in it will come out and they won't cause us any grief. You purists out there that probably long arm for a business, you may want to turn this video off at this point, because this is how I do it, and it's how I'm going to teach Walter to do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way, but it does not necessarily mean it's the wrong way. It's whatever works for you. And there are various ways to do what we're going to do today. So I have taken these little plastic rings and I held up my quilt. Where's the top of my quilt? Okay. And I just took it and I just threw it on the take-up bar just to get an idea of where I need to put my backing fabric. So you see that's going here. All right, so these plastic rings, I said I like about 6 to 8 inches. Probably 4 would do, but I like to have a little bit of generous amount. And I just take these little plastic C rings and I about a hand span, slap it on there. These are just for marking. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so we don't need this at this point in time, so we're going to put the top off to the side. So you take your backing fabric and you find the selvage. Here's the selvage. This is this white piece right along here. And that's going to be placed on here so that the top of the quilt will be that way. So what we have to do is you need to take this and throw it over the bars. All the bars, right over the top.
Oh,
throw it over. Just throw it. Pick it up, throw it.
how far?
Until you want some at the bottom. Okay, so here.
Oh, okay.
Now you see, you want, or you're putting it good side down, right side down.
Right side facing the floor.
Exactly. And you just straighten it out a little bit.
What if it's too wide?
I'm going to show you that because this is too wide. Okay, take that and just pull it right over the top of the edge of the Lucey there. Pull it tight. Okay, now you see we have another selvage down here.
Yeah.
This is the bottom. All right. There's a bar. There's 2 bars here. I don't know if you can see it. Top bar, bottom bar. This is the take-up bar. And this bar has got a red snapper, it's called. Again, probably. Not so good, but there's a bar in here, okay? This is what we're going to be attaching the edge of this to. But in order to do that, first of all, we have way too much backing fabric. Remember the little C rings that we put here? Okay, so I'm just going to pull my fabric close to the one on the left and just pull it along here, straighten it. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight at this point. You're just getting it on. Okay, and now we're going to take a pair of scissors. You're going to take a pair of scissors and you're going to just clip into the seam allowance right where that, there it is there. So just clip. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay, now we rip. Rip.
This is actually very satisfying.
I know. Now there are those who say you shouldn't rip it. You're going to get a sort of a frayed end, but we're ripping it along the grain, which means that it will go relatively straight. Now you may, depending on the type of fabric you use, you may have some threads. Don't worry about those at this point. Now what you want to do is straighten this up and pull it down. We want this thing to be on the top. So there's a clamp here. Move back a little bit first. There's a clamp here that loosens off, and I'm just turning it towards me so that that ridge, that stay that's in here is on the top.
The red snapper, right?
It's called a red snapper, yeah. Now there are other ways to attach your fabrics to your long arm. I am doing it the way I was taught by Tracy at Whirls and Swirls, where we got our APQS machine, and she uses red snappers.
Now you can also pin them, right?
You can pin it, and there are some people who have sewn into the leader material a zipper, and they have some system where they can zip it in and zip it out. I use the red snappers. Some people don't like the red snappers because we will be clamping them down with our hand. If you have arthritis, this is difficult for you, maybe. So you might want a different method, but I find they work fine. So what Walter's doing right now is he's pulling it straight, and you want to line up that selvage at the bottom about as close as you can get it to that bar. This is going to keep it straight. Okay, that's pretty good. So now you're going to take your red snapper and you're going to clamp her down.
Okay, so do I have an overhang?
Yeah, you can have a little. Yeah, you have an overhang. Now I'll give you a tip on how to do this. Back away for a sec. Okay, instead of pushing down on it like this, just maybe bring it a little bit more forward here. Just take your hand and go like this. And as you're doing it, just give it a little spread. You don't want any major wrinkles or gathers in it. Make sure that it's firmly pressed in, and then
Does it matter? It doesn't seem to be exactly on the
it's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. The only time that would be a problem is if we had a definite pattern on the back of this where you'd want to keep it absolutely perfectly straight. So the way you get around that is don't use one that's got a definite pattern on the back of it. Now, watch what you're doing here, okay? See that? You need to, here, look at that. Just need to pull it down right there a little bit, and away you go. Okay, now, depending on how much fabric you're dealing with, I'm just checking to make sure everything is firm. There is a little piece right here on the end. Can't see, it's out of camera. And I have...
If I had started it further down.
What? Well, yeah, but that's okay. In fact, we don't really need to necessarily put anything there, but I usually do. If I can find it, I have a little
Little snapper?
A little snapper. Here somewhere. Okay, where's my little snapper? I can't find my little snapper. Oh, there it is. Little snapper. Okay, which is just a little piece cut off from the end of one of these bigger snappers. So we'll just put that there. Okay, so what you have to do next is you're going to roll it towards you and using the roller. So we take the clamp off and just start rolling it.
Like
you
that?
Can do it from this too.
Oh, okay.
But you want to keep the edges as it's rolling as even as possible. So, and spread it out. So you just take your hands and roll down here and watch up here at the top too. You won't be perfect, but that's okay. That's one reason why we have extra.
Do it again? Or am I being too anal about this?
You're being a little anal. First time, you know. Okay, how's it coming on here? Is it going off? What it'll do is it'll pull. You see on there and start to go crooked, and so you just have to adjust and smooth out. But it doesn't have to be perfect. Now you want to keep winding this on here until we get keep going.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Now we want it to come off from that side and drop down. So that's when you can stop.
And it's beginning to get towards the end.
Okay, keep coming. All right, that's good. Just let it go.
Okay.
All right, so lock your bar. No. Like go where there's going to be the. I need to adjust these a little bit. So we're getting loose, but right there. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this with this part that's hanging over the bar, and you're going to push it under the bar. So you just.
So in between these two bars. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then just straighten it up, smooth it out. You're going to get these, and if they're getting your way, just pull them off, put them in the garbage. So they're just strands. Okay, now we got to take this and we have to throw it back over the bar. This is where sometimes two people come in really handy, but I do it all by myself all the time, anyways. Okay, and straighten it out. Okay, so now we've got to clamp it. Now, one thing I didn't tell you, and I don't know if people can see this. Yeah, you'll notice that this leader was pulled up and over the top of the bar, and that's where you want it to be. But it's probably too much of it there to get good leverage. It's not bad. So I'm just going to wind it. Okay, just like that. Now, using the selvage on here, do the same thing as we just did. Just push the selvage up so it's just hanging over that bar a little bit. That'll help keep it straight. And then start putting on your red snappers. You can put the red snappers on.
No, what?
Snapper down. Need it. And those little ones. Oops, dropping things. Okay, take that off.
What?
You've got a piece that isn't clamped.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, I see what you're doing. It's backwards. But it's all right.
Well, no, I was sort of.
Well, you should start with this. I would start from the left and go to the right.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you're left-handed, then you might want to go the other way. It doesn't really matter. I'm just showing you the way I do it. Now, this is pretty much the easy part.
Okay.
Okay, and put that on the end. Double check to make sure every section is clamped in there. You do not, because if it springs out when you come to the quilting, it's not going to be fun. Yeah, these aren't in.
Hmm.
Let me double check your work. Okay, that's good. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to throw this, well, just toss it over. Just let it fall down. There. Okay, now you're going to take the winder and you're going to wind it up. Are you going to
So I do.
Well, you can use the foot pedal if you want, or you can use the box over there. No. Switch.
Oh, okay. I
See,
didn't.
It's the switch says wind and unwind. You want to wind, so pull it towards you. Okay. And you let it come up until the red snapper is just at the base of the bar. Stop.
Well,
a little far.
Okay. Well, no, I thought you were making me go all the way around.
No. Okay, so you're a little high.
Yeah.
You don't want it up there. You want it down there. So unwind. Yeah, that's good right there. That's what you want. Now you take this and you tighten this. So take the brace off. It's off. You tighten it.
How tight?
Taut. Like,
I don't do
not
taut.
drawn.
I do taut, but not.
Hand up. About like that. And then clamp it down. Okay, that's the first part of 3. All right, now we're going to get into the exciting hard part. And the exciting hard part is getting the batting on here. Now,
Of course, now you can't see anybody.
what? Well, we're going to be over on that side. So,
Oh, okay, fine.
So I store my batting underneath my Lucey's table. In this big sucker roll. Now, is that showing up? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
We're all. Oh.
All right. This is a pain in the ass. It's because of limited space in here. I keep the plastic on the roll to keep it dust free as much as you can. So, this batting is on this roll. It's doubled on here. Now, sometimes I will use, because I'm lazy, so I don't have to split open. If this is wide enough on here, then I will just use that as double batting. But, and it probably is, but I'm not going to let you do that. Because you have to learn how to do it properly.
The hard way.
So, something I was going to do that I never do is I was going to take a tape measure and I said I need about 65 inches of batting on this. It's 58 inches long. The quilt top is 58 inches long. Pardon my hand. It's 58 inches long. And I want a little bit more than that. So I'm going to go about 60. No, I'm going to go about 65 inches of batting. So how do I figure out on that roll? I don't have any space to roll the roll out and cut it on a flat surface. I mean, I could do it in the next room, but the problem there is I'm going to have little pieces of batting everywhere forever on it. So I choose not to do it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roughly measure from the top of the roll. And my length to the floor is about 70 inches if I go from the top. That's good. So I'm going to unroll my batting so it's just touching the floor on this side, and that gives me enough to work with. It's kind of crude, I know, but that's the way I do it. Okay. So we're going to, now the fold on this is at this end. This is important because we're going to be cutting this.
Yeah, and that's not really the side you want to cut, right?
No.
Okay.
You know, well, you do want to cut, but you want to cut from that end. So if the fold's here, when we open it up this way, it's easier to get over there than it is here to cut it.
Oh, okay.
That's all. That's
all
here.
right.
Okay. Now, batting does pucker up. So you got to be gentle when you take it. So take your batting, and I'm going to unroll it from this end. You're lucky we're doing a 2-guy thing. Okay. And is it touching the floor yet?
Pretty well. It's pretty close.
Well, I don't want pretty. I want it to touch.
Oh, hang on.
Because we don't want to be shortchanged.
It is touching the floor now.
Okay, so.
Actually, it's more than touching the floor.
Well, it's okay. Yes, for purists, they're going to say, well, there's so much you're going to waste. Yep, we are.
That's why you buy it cheaper.
That's why I buy it, yeah. Okay, so now I'm getting out my special batting scissors. Why are these special? Because of the design. Oops, go this way. They're flat. And they're about 8-9 inches. And so you can work your way across. So you're going to take these, and you're going to come up to this end, this side. Are we still in the shot?
Well, I think you moved it.
Hard to keep the camera shot. We need professional cameramen.
You need a wide angle.
Yeah, well.
How do you move this? Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay, so come down here. So what you're going to do is you're just going to cut. I don't rest it on there because I don't want to cut my leader.
No.
But and it's not going to be perfectly straight. Just go down to the other end. Here you go.
How about if I go the other way?
Well, you can if you wish. Whatever's most comfortable for you. There isn't a right end or a wrong end. that well.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to cut the thing.
We have a problem, Houston.
Oh, what? So I have to cut.
Well, no, I try to make it a little bit even. We're opening it up, and yeah, it's important. It doesn't have
Well, you
to
didn't tell me it was
Well,
important.
I said cut straight. I mean, I don't know how you decide what that is. I don't know. Is anything straight? Whatever. I mean, if it's out by a little bit, it's bad, but that was out by a lot. So now you've successfully wasted that.
Oh, fuck off.
Hey, watch your language. This is a family show. And Lucy has virgin ears, although she has heard worse. When we flash. Okay. So, what's that piece? Give me that. That's garbage. There is a garbage can down here. You can throw stuff in. All right. Just pull this forward. Now we've got to put our batting away. So I'm going to let you do this. The plastic bag has to go back on over the batting. Lucky for you, I've had some batting off of this one, so it's easy to get it back on.
Oh, it's a giant condom. Well, your bag's ripped. Your bag is ripped.
It's ripped on purpose. That's how I had to get it out. Because when they put the plastic around those are tightly rolled. As soon as you unroll it, it's a pain in the butt. And I know there are some people that have systems for doing all of this. I've heard some people hanging it from the rafters. You can have rafters, and like a giant roll of stuff, hold it down, which I think would be a great idea. Maybe someday we need to think of that. But we have exposed rafters, but we have lights up there. So right now, okay, are you having a little trouble getting it on? There you go. Isn't it fun? Just like I said, this is the part I hate. I hate loading the long arm. Okay, now you can put it away. Okay, very good. So now, remember I said that this batting is doubled over?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to open it up. Now, before we open anything up, you can tear your batting relatively easily, or at least stretch it, and then it has thin spots. You don't want that. So you very gently pull it over to the edge of your backing fabric. And then we open it up. Okay, you don't have to worry about that end.
Oh, okay.
Okay, take that and go right down and off the end. Okay. Now, get the wrinkle out of it. So it's down there. Now we need to cut off that excess. So we take out our batting scissors again. And this is where it gets tricky. Now you have one of two ways of doing this. You can either start at this end, which is what I do because I can see the edge.
Yeah.
This is not going to be perfectly straight. But whatever you do not cut into the backing. It can be a little bigger than your backing. And when you're going down, try to keep as straight a line as you can. Very awkward to do this. Like I said, if I had a huge room, I would probably put a big table out in front of this and lay it down. It would make cutting it a little easier. Okay, so we've got our cut off. So we're going to take this, and I'll take the scissors, and I will throw this on the floor for now. Usually I fold it up. And what I do with my bigger scraps is I will roll them up. I measure them first, how wide, how long. Roll them up, put a ribbon around it, put a tag on it that says it's this many inches by this many inches, and under here I have great big huge zippered bags that I put it in, and I have a big tag on the edge of the zipper bag, and I mark what the pieces are in there, how long they are. So when I don't need to cut something off the roll, I have a smaller project, then I'll go there first and see if I have a piece big enough for it. So for those of you that are worried that I'm wasting things, well, that's how I get around it. Now, you just want to make sure there's no real wrinkles in this, and it's pulled tight. And now we're going to do a method called
So
floating.
is this normal? Like it looks like the batting.
Yes.
Yeah.
The batting has been, you will find this.
It has been sort of stuck together.
Sort of stuck together. That is normal. Okay, don't worry about that. It's not going to affect us in any way. All right. We're going to do the method called floating. And I just want to pull that.
Should that go up higher?
It can, but we're going to be adjusting it, so it doesn't matter. It's in the ballpark. It's okay. So you're going to take this quilt. We're going to find the top. This is the top. And you're going to put it on top of the batting, but you're going to leave about an inch down from the top of the batting.
Well, I have to have it sticking out.
Now,
right?
yeah. So now you want to center it a little bit here because we want
access.
Yeah. We have more than enough access here.
Okay.
Okay. So don't worry about how straight it is at the top yet. We'll come to that when we get to the basting. But we just want it here. And then we're going to take it and we're going to make a burrito roll kind of a thing. We're just going to take the batting and the top and we're just going to roll it gently and loosely. It doesn't have to be tight. And we're going to stuff it.
Stuff it underneath? Yeah.
And then you're going to unroll it again. Just flip it up. Now, this is where we're going to do some adjusting to get in. So you see, we don't want puckers. So we're going to just manipulate it. So now flatten this all out and straighten it. And try to get the top, leave a couple of inches here at the top, but try to get this, eyeball it for straightness. I'm going to show you how to make it absolutely straight. Okay, and then make sure there aren't any rolls. See that? Feel that? Feel that? What's that feel like to you? That's a roll. Okay, so what you do is you just pinch. Pull a little bit, gently.
A roll? What do you mean by a roll?
There's a lump.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
No.
Okay. So are you pulling the batting?
I'm pulling the batting with the top a little bit. I find that if I do it that way, then just pulling the batting itself, I don't put my finger through it because it's very easy to put your fingers through it. Okay. And just any major little bumps and bulges, make sure those are out and it feels smooth under here. You will feel the seams of the quilt, especially this one, because there's tons and tons of seams. That's a seam. Okay. So we've got our placement a little bit more than the rough placement of this. Next thing we need to do is put on our clamps on the edges. We're pulling it taut. It means I got to move Lucey out of the way for this end, just over here. And there are these things, little clamps. And what we do is we clamp. Now, some people only clamp the backing. I clamp the backing and the batting.
Okay, so these aren't long enough, so I have.
Okay, so just take the clip that's out there, the adjustment clip. Just flick it off for now.
Oh, take it right off.
Yeah, just little adjustment clips here, and then you pull it taut.
Yeah, and I get the backing in it too, right?
Yes. Okay. Now, you just doesn't have to be, but just enough to keep. You can go a little bit more on that. That one's a little bit more too. So we have two of these at either end. And they just keep things nice and hot. Now at this point you may need to adjust the tension on the bottom roll. So we just there. I really need to tighten those little nuts up. Actually, how'd that come so loose? I don't think I'm tightening.
I don't think anything's happening.
Well, no, because it needs an Allen wrench. Sec. Here we go. Okay. There we are. Okay. Just another check. Now, I think I need to tighten these up a little bit. Okay. Aha! Whoa! Problem. The quilt is coming out from underneath that clamp. The red snapper. That is not good. We have a problem, Houston. Let's put this on camera. So
Oh, it came out of the snapper.
yeah, it did. And you know why it came out of the snapper? You probably didn't pull enough underneath the snapper when you're putting it on there. See right here? We have to fix that. So I'm going to take these off now. Take off the clamps at the end. Okay, we are going to drop this down. Gotta move the head out of the way. Because you see what will happen?
Mm-hmm.
When that thing is loose over in that end,
Yeah, you won't have the tension.
the whole thing will come off.
Yeah.
So we have to unwind. Okay, you're going to have to give me more slack. So unwind.
Unwind.
Okay,
Oops.
Oops. Okay. Okay, I want you to wind a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. Okay, so this should not have happened. So what we're doing right now is not the way to do this. Okay. Not good.
You're not a very good teacher.
You're a very bad student. Snap that in there. Good thing we caught it now, because if this had come off while we were quilting, we would be right up Schitt's Creek. Okay, now you gotta wind it forward. So wind.
Wine.
Okay, stop. All right. We got to pull up the slack. We're going to do this. Tighter, tighter. Okay, clamp. Okay, straighten this out. Okay, back to this. Okay, put the end clamps back on again. And remember, when you're putting the end clamps on, if this is in the way, just slide it towards the center of the quilt.
I'll never remember any of this shit.
Yeah, you will. I'll be here. Okay, we're back on track. I think we need to have a little bit more tension. Okay, good.
What's enough tension? Just
Feel.
bouncy, bouncy?
Bouncy, bouncy. All right. So now we need to base the quilt down on two sides and at the top. But we want to make sure that our quilt is as straight as we possibly can get it. On a quilt like this, it's not really going to matter as much because this is like just everywhere. But you want to keep it as straight as you can. So how do we do that? Well, first thing we need to do is pick a thread. So from the vast collection over there, Walter, pick a thread, a top thread for this. I'll give you a hint. Variegated might be fun. Variegates are over there. So pick two that you think might work, and then we'll audition them. So the big spools at the top. This has every color in the rainbow in it. So there really isn't any wrong, but I want to show how to audition them. So days trying to pick the color.
Yeah, probably. Oh. I don't know. Either of these two.
All right, come around to this side of the machine.
Oh, blood. Stuff hitting me in the head. Your bags are hanging low.
Yeah, if I had a nickel every time. That one came off the end, but that doesn't. Okay, we solved that problem, hopefully. Never have had that really happen to me before. But you know, when you're trying to video something and show how to do it, that's when you'll run into problems. But anyways, you can see why this is a stage I do not like. But we're almost over, we're pretty much over the hard part. But right now we have to pick our threads. This is multicolored, this quilt, as you can see. So this is an excellent opportunity to use something like a variegated. And variegateds come in various colors. And Walter has picked these two. So what we're going to do is audition them on here to see how it looks. So to audition, you wind off a fairly good amount of thread and you throw it on the quilt. And you take a look at it and see how it's going to look. You guys can't see this on the camera, I'm pretty sure. But when you put it, drag it over the darkest parts and drag it over the lightest parts. And see if you like it. Now, because we're using a variegated.
Actually, I like this one better.
Okay, then that's the one we're using. Okay. So show the people at home what you're using. Go up to the camera, show them what it is. If it knots up, you'll have to pull off some of the extra stuff up there. Okay. We also need to have a bobbin. Now, your bobbin, it depends on how much you want of your pattern to show in your backing. Here's my backing. So I'm thinking we should go with red, but I'm going to let Walter pick from my vast bobbins. What do you want to use? The lighter the color on this, the more you're going to see the quilting on it. If you're confident or you're confident that that's, if there's any mistakes, your tension is right or not right. Boy, my head keeps getting cut off. Professional equipment, but we don't. I'm the cameraman. So my suggestion is what you have in your hand. But he won't go with my suggestion. You know that. You could do that. The lighter the color, the more it's going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I care, because this quilt is just a broken block quilt.
Your color choice sucks.
Yes, I know. Well, there's more colors over
Okay,
here.
red's fine.
Good. I was going to strongly suggest that's the one you should go for. All right, let's get this out of the way. And let's first of all put our bobbin thread in. So, here's what Walter's picked. And this part you're not going to be able to see, but the bobbins have, for my machine, they have a side that looks like that, and then they have a side with a little black band, and that's magnetic. And so you have to have a bobbin. I don't know if I have a bobbin in here. Yeah, I do. Okay, there was a bobbin in here, and I'm going to take that bobbin out because it's the wrong color. And now, what you have to do is you want to take your magnetic side, and you want
goes inside, right?
It goes inside, and then you'll pull the thread. There's a little gap. Oh, this. There is a little gap. Get it in the view of here. There's a gap. There it is. See the little gap? So you take the thread, pull it through the gap, and then it goes around that little part up there. You don't have to pull it too tight, but it should catch underneath that piece. I know this is so hard to show. Okay, let me put it down this way. Maybe I can show that. Okay, that's not working. Where is this bloody camera? Okay, there. See, it's going to go around the gap. All right. Your long arm will come with a manual. Okay, I'm going to let Walter do it. Take it out. Okay, thread the bobbin. Yep. Then around. And then just let it. Did it feel like it clicked in?
It clicked.
Okay, it should. All right. So he's got the bobbin threaded. Now, underneath here, pull it in as far as you can. Now, this you have to do a little by feel. What I do is I put where that gap is at the top, I sort of put my finger on top of that, hold it that way, and then shove in underneath. Now, it might help if you take a look underneath to see how this looks.
Check out Lucey's
Yeah,
works.
we're going under Lucey's skirt right now. You see her hole?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to shove that in the hole. Works better that way. And you will feel it click when you've got it adjusted properly.
Okay, it's in.
Okay, did you feel it click?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're done.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about the thread hanging down or nothing.
Nope. You want thread hanging down
from
it because it's got to have something to pick up. So let's put Lucy's skirts back down because she is a lady. Now we're going to thread the needle. Okay. How am I going to show this?
You can't.
I can't. But I think I'm going to cut over to my iPhone camera and I'll splice this.
Well, really, if that's really only pertinent for.
Well, yeah, nobody's going to be threading our machine.
No.
So we're going to thread the machine and we'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, that was an ordeal.
Yeah, we had a little problem with the threading. I do this all the time, but it's totally different when you're teaching somebody. Okay, now what we want to do is baste our quilt, which means putting a line of stitching along right at the very, very top of this quilt and down on either side as far as we can go to the bar. So there is a way, two ways you can do this to make sure your quilt is straight. The first way, and which is the way I've done it forever, is I come up to the top of the quilt up here, and I will put my foot just about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 is better, or somewhere in between 1/8 and 1/4, and I will set my channel lock, which actually locks the arm in this position so that I can just go right along, and as I go along, I will pull this back and do a straight line of stitching. Then I'll come back, take the top of the quilt, and I will push it and pull it around until it's just right on, pretty much on the line, and be straight. But that's the way I've done it for quite a while, and that works okay. But what Tracy at Whirls and Swirls told me to do is instead pull your arm down here to your first major seam. Now, in this case, she didn't recommend to do it on a seam that is leading into a border because borders can go wonky. And so you're going to have a wonky line. So to come down to where you have another horizontal line of stitching or another horizontal line of seam, and set your channel lock and then drag it across. You're not putting the needle down. You're not sewing anything at this point. And then massage the quilt so that seam line is straight. But I don't have a seam line to do that on in this quilt because I put it on point. So my seam lines are going diagonally. And I could do it along here, but because the borders can be a little wonky, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it the first method. But just so you know, there are two methods for this. So I just peel the top of the quilt down a little bit to expose the batting and the backing. And then I'm just going to go about 2 to 3 inches down from the bar. That's right here. And I am going to set the horizontal channel. Now on my machine, that's a knob that does it. On the Millie, which is the next machine up, you can do it through the computer. Okay. So what we want to do now is, see, I cannot pull this. Well, I could. I could pull it towards me. It's not that firm, but it could stay, and it'll just keep this in a straight line as we move along. So what we want to do is stitch, and Walter's going to do this. We want to stitch a straight line right across on top of the batting. So that means you want to start a little bit off from the edge of the quilt, and you want to pull up your bobbin thread. Do you know how to do that?
It's just a one click, right?
Yes, one click.
Oh, hang on. This isn't right. Okay.
Needle down, needle up. Now, don't do that. Let me show. You're going to take your tail, and you're going to just slide it under the foot, and that will grab your bobbin thread. And now you got 2 tails.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So do I hang on to the tails?
You can. You don't have to at this point. But yeah, I was just to keep them out of your way for a second.
Yeah.
And now you're going to push the bottom button down. No, I said the bottom button. No. Pull it back up. Okay, you're fine. You clicked too many times, but okay, there you go. And now just drag it down to the far end. Don't worry about the stitch tension or anything at this point, because it doesn't matter. You just want a line. Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Bring your needle up. Just hit the bottom button. Okay, there you go. Now, we want to pull our thread up and cut it. So the way you do that is just move it off to the side a little bit. Grab that. Keep your fingers away from the needle. Down once, up, then pull on it, and you will see the bobbin thread come up, but it's attached. Take your scissors and cut those two threads. Okay, now we're going to move the whole head back. I usually trim this stuff off because I don't want to get in my way. Let's put the little bucket over here that people can't see this for. And now we just move this off to the side. And we're going to take this, your top, and you're going to massage it so that the edge is right along the line, so it's straight. Or close thereof. I mean, you're not going to get it perfect, but you want it as perfect as you can get. Okay. That looks pretty good.
Okay.
All right. Now, leaving your horizontals on, you can go back over and you can take them off so there's less tension on it, but it's enough you can move it just a bit, and you want to line up your foot so that where the needle is, it's just going to be between 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch down. Move it back, and now you're going to pull up your thread again. And okay, tip, before you do anything, you're doing this. You're dragging the quilt with your belly.
Oh.
And that you have to be aware of that. Do not lean on the quilt. A lot of people do this, especially short people. Ask me how I know, because I'm a short person. Okay. Now, let me show you something. Okay, pull up your thread first. I'm going to show you a little trick.
Oh, I know. It's you said do this.
Pull
right?
up your thread. Yeah.
Okay.
You probably didn't pull it up. Okay. All right. That happens. Sometimes you lose the end.
I lost the end.
Yeah, you lost the end. Okay. Do this again. Top button. Top of the button. Now don't pull on this. That's what. Push it under. And then get a hold of it. There it is there. See, because it'll move on you.
Yeah.
Under there. Well, enough of the tail.
Okay, so you're leaning against the quilt.
Yes, I know I am. As I said, I know. You want to be aware that you might be doing that because it can cause you a problem. I mean, sometimes it happens, but once it's basted, it's not as big a problem.
All right.
Okay. Also, just make sure there's no little threads in the pathway of your needle because you don't want to sew them into the quilt. Now, when you're doing the basting part, this is keeping it straight on the top and on the sides. And every time you move the quilt up, you're going to be basting down the side. But that's not going to come until we start talking about using the computerized system for this. So, to keep this straight and flat, what you want to do is start it up, go across, and then gently with your fingers, just pull it a little bit. Just give it a little bit of tension to keep any wows out of it. If it looks like you're not going to be straight, you can stop and you can readjust. And if you miss, like I can't miss because I can't go back any further. But if you miss a little bit, you can go back and redo that part. You don't need to pull out the stitches or anything. Now you see here how that's going like that? So you just smooth it, smooth out the wrinkles, the waves. Now, I'm starting to go off a little bit here. See how it's getting real close? So just tug on it a little bit. I'll let you finish. Okay, if you go off, you can just back up, go back over it.
Well, how's that going?
That'll work. Well, no, what I mean is, let go.
Oh.
You go off on the batting. But that doesn't matter. That piece gets cut away. Now you're going to get a wow here if you don't. Don't put your hand under it. Okay. You're okay. Go right off. Go off. A little bit. Okay, stop. Okay. Now, you want to pull off your thread. So, just pull your machine over a little bit. Drop it. Pull this up when you do, or before you drop it. Pull that up just a little bit of slack. Drop the needle.
What, here or move it over?
Drop. Just a second. Now I'm getting myself mixed up. Okay. Don't you hook me. I want to pull that stupid bobbin thread up. Okay, well, sometimes, there it is. Okay, got it. If for some chance you don't get it up out of here, then just break it. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now we're going to baste the sides. But first of all, we have to take the horizontal clamp off. So go to the back and loosen your knob. He said, lovely smile. Keep going until they'll be loose. Okay, that's good. Now, you gently just tug on the quilt to make sure there's no waves like look here, look here. You don't want that. Want that. Now, what you can do is you can take the C-rings and find a seam that looks relatively straight. So we're going to use the one on the border, even though I told you not to use the one on the border for that, but you can do it here. And you're just going to set these as markers. This is for future reference when we wind the quilt ahead, just to make sure we are relatively straight as we go down, because the quilt will have a tendency to go a little crooked, but we want to keep it as straight as we possibly can. Okay, now you're going to baste it. So you're going to have to pull up your thread. No. Okay. Yeah. Now take your loose end, pull it on, push it, pull it underneath to pull up your bottom thread. You should do it with 2 hands. It will make your life easy. Yes, just like that, like dental floss. You're flossing it.
Okay.
Floss then. No. Okay, you've got them pulled up.
No.
Don't be cheap with your thread. Okay, so you want to move this over, and you want to do the same thing except down here. You're going to go about between 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch down. I know you can't see this, people. Picture it.
Well, how do I get it to start going?
Oh, just pull towards you. Keep it relatively close to that, and you just smooth it as you're going, but without pulling on the quilt. But all we're doing is basting at a snail's pace.
Yeah, I know.
And you can bring it close to the belly bar. Okay, that's close enough. Now, go off and drop the needle. No, turn it off. Okay, now pull up. Get a loop. Down once. Again. Pull. Cut.
I can't see a thing.
See?
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Okay, you're going to do the same thing down the side.
Okay, now I have to pull the thread back up, right?
Yeah. So start off the quilt. Off. You can be closer to the. You don't have to go way over there. Because if you go too far over here, you're going to catch these clamps, and things are going to. You'll know because it'll feel resistance. Now floss it. I'm sorry, people, my camera positioning isn't the best for seeing what he's doing, but if many of you are probably familiar with how you pull up thread from the bottom of a quilt.
Okay, so I just go?
And yeah, now go down. Yeah. Pull it towards you. Okay, are you hitting the bottom?
No, I'm hitting the top.
No, don't hit the top. That's one single one.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Well,
don't. You're not telling me very well of which button does what.
You're a bluebird. Some people don't know what I mean by that. That's an expression used in my teaching days. You can figure out what it means. Now, if by chance, and this has happened to me on more than one occasion, I got a little overzealous while I was doing it, and I kind of went a little further into the quilt than I wanted to. I didn't bother picking out those stitches unless it was something that was really going to show up. Because remember, we're going to be trimming this quilt when it comes off, and then we're putting a binding on it, and it'll cover up a multitude of sins. Okay, now grab your thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it up a little bit. You can, there's a little tension there. Yeah, okay. Drop the needle once, top button. Bring it up, top button. Pull the thread. Pull the thread. Well, no.
You
There.
said pull the thread.
See?
Okay, all right.
Pull the thread.
Okay, I didn't know.
Jeez, you're so gentle. Okay, where are my scissors?
I don't know.
I had scissors. Oh, they're there in my pocket. Well, that's a good place for them. Okay. We have basted the quilt. What should we do next? Well, we probably have screwed around with the tension of the quilt itself, so we just need to give it a little bit of an adjustment. Watch me here. Eyes here. Eyes. Eyes. Just pull that up a little bit. And everything should be fine and dandy, like hard rock candy. So, you have, how come that thing wants to go the opposite way from where I am? I don't know. Go here. All right. So Walter has mounted his first quilt and he has basted it. So the next thing, but we're not doing that today, is to actually set up QuiltPath, the computerized system, to quilt it. That will take a little bit of time to learn. What have we learned today?
I've learned that I probably won't be able to do this again.
You will, but I'm not leaving you to your own devices on the next quilt that you do. And I will be here to help you with it.
Okay, you can help me when I put my sandwich up for experimenting.
Yes, I will. Now, the next thing that I'm going to show them, but not today, is, like I said, how to set up QuiltPath, which is a computerized system. That will probably be more me doing a lot of that to start with and letting him see how the process works. And then when he gets to the point where he wants to do his own kind of thing, then I will help him set it up and we'll go through that as well. Although, mind you, I don't really care about this quilt very much because it was just a little palette cleanser. All right, any questions? Yes, you won't remember.
No.
I know you won't. It took me many,
well,
many
you
times.
showed me how to do my own last time, and
Yes.
I don't remember that either.
No, because you have to do it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I have to stop and think when I do it even now. But because I've done it many, many times, I can do it. I pretty much know what I'm doing. Except when I have to teach it to somebody. That's totally different. Okay. I'm sorry for the camera work, but we needed really a third body here to get in there up close and personal. But it gives you an idea of what to do. If you are still in doubt and you've just got a new long arm, then YouTube has plenty of videos showing you this with better camera work than mine. And wherever you bought it, if you got it from a dealer, your dealer should have provided you with some initial lessons to show you how to do all of this as well. So those are sources you can check too. Yes, it will be very frustrating and time consuming the first time you do it. My tip is this: don't do your quilt at the last minute. Give yourself lots and lots of time to do the stage we just did. Then don't try to rush it. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if you do, you're going to screw up left and right. But remember, anything that you screw up, you can unscrew too. It isn't that unforgiving with it. So I hope this helped you out. I hope you enjoyed our little video here. And we'll see you next time for when Walter plays with Lucey again. Okay, so how do you feel after that lesson?
A little overwhelmed.
Yes, I was going to say yes, for sure.
But I could see once I get the hang of it a bit that it becomes like the same thing over and over again.
I hate doing this stage of the quilt. I hate loading it onto the frame. And you can see it isn't difficult. It's awkward. It depends on your environment. It depends on how much space you have, which we don't have a lot of space around Lucey. So that compounds it a little bit. And my way of doing it that I taught Walter is not necessarily the end all and the be all. You know, other people have different things that work for them. The important part is you get it onto your frame, you get it basted, you have it as straight as you can get it, so you're ready for the quilting part of it. And that's what we will do next. So next week, hopefully, that's we're going to have the quilting it using Quilt Path. And for that one, I'm going to do most of the setup, and Walter's going to video it so you can get up close and personal. Camera work today was not good. And I apologize for that, but I think you got the general gist. Okay. Anything else we need to say? Anything you're thinking of?
No.
Nope. Okay, great. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for putting up with it. Lucey's got to have a little nap now before we go on to the next stage. So have a great week. We'll see you later. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Hi. I'm just going to interrupt my program for just 1 second to remind you to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for future notifications. That's all I ask of you. Show me a little love. Thanks.